In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about the truthy and falsy values. As you can guess by the name, these are values that evaluate to either true or false. JavaScript has its own set of rules on what is considered to be a truthy or a falsy value, and we are going to start with describing the falsy values. There are 5 values that are considered to be falsy. These 5 values are 0, empty string, null, undefined, none, which is short for not a number. We can evaluate the truthiness or falsiness of a value using the Boolean method like this. So if I type Boolean and I type 0 inside, I do get false. And we can check the same for the empty string, which should also evaluate to false, null, which also is going to be false, obviously, and undefined to return the same thing, and finally an not a number, which is also going to be false. So now pretty much everything that is not these 5 values can be considered a truthy value. So for example, if I have a non-empty string, so let's say Nick right here, it's going to return true. And if I have a non-zero number, like 1, it's also going to return true. Now in the previous lesson, we've learned about the if-else statements, and now we can leverage the truthy and falsy values to build an example using the if-else statements. So let's clean all this. Let's create an empty variable called I am undefined. So this variable is undefined and it is one of the falsy values. So that means if we use it in an if-else statement, such as if I am undefined, and print out here console log truthy, and in the else statement we can console log falsy, then we are going to get the value falsy, because I am undefined is not a defined variable. Now, if we do change the value of I am undefined to be equal 0, then we know that 0 is also a falsy value. So if we rerun the same if-else statement, we are going to get falsy. However, on the other hand, if I change the variable I am undefined to my name, which is a non-empty string, that means it's going to be a truthy value. And if we rerun the if-else statement here, we're going to get truthy. So as you can see, the truthy and falsy values are very important when it comes to evaluating whether a piece of code is going to run or not within if-else statements. And it's also quite important in different contexts, such as the logical operators. So for example, as I mentioned in my previous lecture about the logical operators, you have the logical and logical or operators, which are double ampersand and double line respectively. So these 2 symbols are also going to evaluate 2 different values. So for example, let's create a variable called funds and set it to 0, and a falsy value I am null to be equal to null. Now if we run the logical and operator on these 2 variables like this, funds double ampersand I'm null, and we return, we are going to get 0, which is again a falsy value. So as you can see, knowing the truthy and falsy values is very important when it comes to making key decisions about how your code is going to flow and what it is going to do. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.